I'm going to talk about the stages in an effective pre-referral process and refer back to how that may pose some issues with certain students, and how they may have disadvantages in the referral process. So first we have the fact that it involves consultation, collaboration, and it's a linear process within itself. It can include learning about ways to support a student to become as successful as possible within the process itself. And I guess some sites and settings are even starting to adopt the response to intervention approach. So overall, we've got stage 1 of initial concern, stage 2 of info gathering, stage 3 of info sharing and team discussion, stage 4 of addressing possible strategies, and then stage 5, implementing and monitoring those strategies. Then we have the final evaluation and decision making for stage 6. So there's a lot of benefits in conducting appropriate pre-referral process. This is straight from the IRIS module. They say that the pre-referral uses a problem-solving team to help teachers find effective teaching strategies for use with students who exhibit a concern or behavioral difficulties, who exhibit academic concerns or behavioral difficulties. So during this process itself, it provides opportunities for teachers, parents, and the educational team members to collaborate on effective ways to support student needs. It also empowers teachers with various strategies to serve such diverse students, maybe because they're newer teachers or they're just inexperienced, or this whole process is new to them. So the process itself can empower them to use various strategies that are learned from the team or just learned from the process or from their research. It also prevents over-representation of students of particular groups. The ones that were discussed, I believe, were EL, English language learners. Oh man, what was the other group? I forgot. And then it also improves communication with guardians and their involvement in their child's educational needs and successes. So how do we implement, what the IRIS module showed me into my school? Well, I learned a lot. One, I can be an advocate for my students and be aware of the warning signs and use the warning sign sheet that was available to us on that module website. This might merit the initiation of the pre-referral process. We can also make sure to organize student work and collect data to consider student needs and be able to identify instructional methods, strategies, and materials that we've tried already or have used that work and or don't work, and this can be addressed. We can also be prepared to take an additional role at the pre-referral meetings to support the team as a whole, and that could be like a secretarial need, a time management need, or just what's the word I'm looking for? Keeping the meeting going. I just had the word in my head and I forgot it. Okay, anyways, it's late. Okay, so then we have always consider external issues, and I think this is where I would say the kids have the most disadvantage, is these external issues that are evident in some kids' lives, whereas it may not be evident in others. I'm going to speak from experience. I've got a lot of kiddos with past trauma, family dynamics. We have CPS involvement. We've got foster care kiddos. We have a mismatch of curriculum to emerging skills with certain kiddos. We have differences in behavior expectations at school versus at home. And then there's also the ongoing thing of like classroom management, and how that can affect a student's learning. At our school, we typically use the token economy, and that seems to work for us. We also do daily data keeping, record keeping, weekly and monthly, and we provide incentives for all of those. from this IRIS learning module, I also learned how to implement accommodations that could immediately and effectively support student success, such as classroom environment changes or options, classroom management systems. Like I said, we use token economy, instructional procedures, such as the various co-teaching models that we discussed last week. And then there's also the task demands on the student, if we can break it up, like Professor Sarah Ronan talked about, let's do odd numbers today, or maybe the student learns only 5 out of the 25 spelling words each day instead of 25 spelling words being presented to them all in one day and expected to be learned right away. We can also track data and determine what is working versus what is not working, and then bringing all of this back to the team, and they can give their input and insight, and we can again collaborate. What I have noticed is that we can have multiple meetings before initiating an actual evaluation. We have one kiddo that we had 3 pre-referral meetings before determining that, yes, he could use an IEP, but it actually ended up being very minimal, and we realized that a lot of his issues were just being brought into the school setting from home, and he had a couple of isolated incidences with behavior. It wasn't something that was being shown consistently over time, but because the parents pushed for it, he ended up with an IEP, and the district was okay with that. So that is all I have for you. Thank you.